Welcome to this week's edition of the Gridiron, sponsored by Patriot Chevrolet. I'm your host, John Brown, with the head coach, Chad Brubaker. Springford went on the road this week and defeated Methacton 30-7. Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
With a little bit of good. Obviously, there was another game where we talked about mistakes and we were able to win a game against people who made some mistakes. Obviously, another game where we're making some mistakes and finding ways to win football games, too.
Yeah, we're putting the ball on, we had 4 fumbles, lost 3, and you can't continue to win games like that when you play, the most competitive games on your schedule. So that is not playoff football. We have some things that, and everybody does, but there's some obvious things that we need to clean up, and ball security is one of them. And I think, ball security happens, or ball insecurity happens, when you are complacent about the game. Mm-hmm. And it is tough to play over at Methacton. It's a different environment than most of the other venues in the league. Pretty quiet at times. I mean, they had a pretty good crowd, but pregame it's quiet. And, I think we need to make sure that we're not, overly confident. Our goals Friday night offensively were like, hey, let's play as mistake-free as possible. Let's take what's there. And we didn't do that again. And, I know or think of different reasons why that may have happened. But, we just got to keep plugging at it and coaching at it. And we got to play. We got to continue to try to play better. I don't think we did that on Friday night.
I'm sure, once again, the kids, they're kids. You had a big homecoming win on Saturday. You had that big win over PV, and it's like, we'll go out. PV just beat them 42 to whatever. We'll just go out and win. And I think the kids realize that you still, doesn't matter who the opponent is, you got to execute, and you got to make right decisions. And doesn't matter who it is. Right. If you're not going to make the right decisions, they're going to be able to exploit it.
And Methacton played very hard. Give them credit too. Yeah. Like, they played hands down the best that I've seen them play defensively and offensively. 3 weeks ago they weren't throwing the ball at all. Mm-hmm. And now they're throwing the ball, and pretty not bad either. Going from 0 throws to, I don't know what the exact number was, but maybe 20 throws on Friday, and being effective at it is pretty impressive. But you're right. And I keep telling the kids, if you want to be a championship team, it doesn't matter who's over there. You go out, you execute, you do the things you need to do. That wasn't a championship effort on Friday. And you can make all the excuses you want, and you're not wrong about them. They are real factors. Kids look at scores. Again, like I mentioned, it was, kind of quiet. Our band didn't go. There's a lot of different things that, all add up, but those are excuses. And before the game, I asked the kids, we're going to find out, are you extrinsically motivated or are you intrinsically motivated? And I don't like the answer. If you ask me what I thought after Friday night, I don't like that answer.
Yeah, I mean, a win's a win. You'll take wins any way you can get them as head coaches, that sort of thing.
Because you can improve upon those things. Yeah. And when you lose, it's a lot harder to recover. You got to recover first and then go. But you're right.
Remember, you're still up 30 to nothing. They score in the fourth quarter, that sort of thing. But let's talk about it. You maybe take your foot off the gas, put some second team guys in when they score. But then, once again, you don't execute another special team situation. Yeah. They have an onside kick. They get the ball back. It's all right. We're putting guys back out there. Like, got to go make plays.
I've done some research.
I'm listening.
Okay. We have given up in the past 2 weeks, including the PV game and the Methacton game, we have given up 4 offensive drives to special teams mistakes.
Not great.
Okay. So that's 4 drives. That's like 40 extra plays, 30 to 40 extra offensive plays. We've given that up. We've also stunted drives a few times by fumbling in the red zone or whatever. We also have 5 drop passes in those 2 games. These are uncharacteristic. We didn't do that the first, say, five, 6 games. And you got to be able to point to something if it's not random. So you got to be able to point to something, and maybe right now we're a little overconfident. We think we show up, we're good, catch the ball, we're good. But that's got to be fixed.
Now, we talked about this a little bit last year. Special teams were issues at times last year too, and you said, all right, and you've done in the past, get some guys some opportunities, get on special teams. Are you at a point now where we got to make some personnel changes and get some other guys out there? Like, you've seen it now, a pattern. And there were some early season special teams issues. Is it like, all right, we got to –
Yeah, so we gave a couple guys opportunities on Friday night in certain special teams, but they will be cleaned up this week.
Okay.
There are going to be personnel changes.
Yeah, I think, once again, that's where the kids got to realize, listen, we got it on film. We can show you. You're not going to make the right decisions, not going to do what you need to do. We'll find somebody else to get in there.
We have to. There's no other option.
All right. One thing here, once again here, let's talk about your quarterback. Is it, because he has some of the fumbles that occurred. That's one of the fumbles. Is it where we're saying, hey, doesn't matter who you are on this team, everybody's still holding these same?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. There's no one that I'm harder on this team than Matt. And Matt wants that. Like, Matt doesn't want to, he doesn't want an attaboy. Yeah, like, he's smart enough to know. Yeah. He's smart enough to know, but, I think Matt wants to be coached. And, we certainly hold him to a higher standard than everybody else. Obviously, first of all, he's responsible for all the other 10 guys on offense. We're going to watch the film and we're going to, make corrections. And a lot of times he sees things that I don't see in the game, from his perspective. And, he has a good idea of what we need to be doing and suggest things. But there's times where he doesn't. He's a 17-year-old kid too. So we'll get these things corrected. Like, that's our goal. We have Norristown Friday night, and
that's all you're thinking
about. That's all we can think about. That's all we can do. That game is in the past.
And that's what you like to hear as like an outside guy is, listen, he wants to be coached. Because let's be honest, there's kids out there that don't want to be coached. They're going to do it their way, and they're not interested in it.
Not on our team.
Right.
On our team, like, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it our way, or we're going to find somebody that is going to do it our way. And that's a very simple thing. And we've had some of those situations this year where, okay, that's what you're going to do, then we're going to find somebody else. Now, the hard thing, we fortunately have a pretty deep roster. There are years where that's very difficult, because the next guy might be, the first guy's here, next guy's here. That can be very difficult because in high school, like in college, you're doing it. You're doing it their way, no matter what. You're gonna do it their way because there's a guy that's 1A, 1B, and he's gonna do it their way, and you're gonna be out of luck.
All right, Coach, good stuff right there. Great insight to the program right there. Let's check out the offensive highlights from Springford Methacton.
Offensive highlights are brought to you by Dimitri's Pizza.
So the one thing I'll give them credit for, they played a different defense than we came in expecting. So that gave us some problems on the offensive line in terms of some protection and blocking assignments. But
here's one of your home run plays, that sort of thing here.
Yeah, Jordan Marsilio did a great job there getting over top of the safety. Matt puts it on the sideline shoulder where only Jordan can get it, and that's a pretty nice catch tracking that ball. Here's our first touchdown. This is Jamal Lewis.
Easy, untouched essentially here.
Yeah, they did a great job that time. You see Ryan Kirchner come down with A.J. Moyer and pin the end and the linebacker, and just an excellent job. Here's Matt running the same, actually, it's the same exact play to the other side, faking the run with the running back and then going the other way.
And this is where, I guess, once again here, it's tough. Get out of bounds. You don't need to take this hit at the end. You know what I mean?
Well, he was trying to.
Okay.
You'll see. He's jumping out of bounds. We got a penalty on it.
Okay, good. All right, making sure. And there's that full house look, Bendowski.
Yeah, Bendowski bounced it outside here. We got to work on that a little bit more in practice. Like we blocked our guard blocks the wrong guy there.
And he just beats the guy, But that guy's right there to make that play.
Yeah. And this is a really nice play. You'll see Mason Scott give a little slant go look, and Matt puts it where only he can get it.
And you're going from the hash to the other corner. This isn't an easy throw.
No. And that safety can't get there. That's really more concerning. We know Matt can get the ball there, but and this is a throw, a really good adjustment by Bilal Abdulrahman. We call this SF. You have a slant fade choice on the outside. So he can run the slant, or he can run the fade, or he can run a slant fade.
And it's not, Bilal's not his first read here, too. He looks
well. He chose he liked the other matchup a little better. The kid did a good job, so he came back to the other side.
Yeah, and that's what you like to see. Is not his first read, goes somewhere else, and that's they talk about that with quarterbacks too. Make sure you're not just one guy.
And that's probably not a lot of people understand how difficult that is, because it's 3-step drop. That means he's not he's catching the ball at 3 steps. So he's taking 1 step, looks one way, looks the whole way to the other side, trusts his offensive line to protect him, and makes that throw.
All right, Coach, good stuff right there.
Thanks.
Hey, you want to talk a little potential districts when we come back?
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back to do the defensive highlights from Springford, Methacton, and talk District 1 athletics.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Welcome back to the Gridiron, sponsored by Patriot Chevrolet. I'm your host, John Brown, with the head coach, Chad Brewbigger. All right, Coach, I think we're going to get up here on the graphic here for the people to see. This is the District 1
athletics.
District 1 athletics. Who says that? This is the District 1 6A football standings through 8 weeks. There's 10 weeks in the season. You can see the Rams right there at 4. They are
tied for third,
but I'm going to get you to lose the tiebreaker because they don't have any losses.
10 behind second.
And did West lose a game? West came back and won that game.
Downingtown West?
Downingtown West there.
They lost
to Chester, right?
That's why they're at 5.
They dropped down to 5. You see Perkins Valley still in the top 8. Essentially gives that first round home game. And then you can see Owen J. Roberts there at 9. So you got, 3 teams in this division within the top 9. It's pretty good for the pack.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been the case the past few years. But I'll give you some other insight here.
Yeah, that's where I want to know. Yep.
So CB West plays CB South this Friday.
Okay.
So
wow,
great
matchup.
The loser of that game will bump way down.
When you say way down, what do you mean by down?
I would
say in that 5-6 range.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, well, you see, we're only 10 points behind CB South if you look over there.
Yeah, I see. Yep.
Really what happens, by the way, or what matters is the ranking. That's the average so the total points are divided by the number of games. Mm-hmm. So that's the ranking. The ranking is actually what matters. So yeah, if CB South loses CB West, they'll drop down. Obviously, if CB South would beat CB West still is 70 points in the lead. So they won't drop down quite as far. Souderton plays Upper Dublin, who's a 5A school, but a very good 5A school. Souderton snuck away with a 7-0 win last Friday. We were really hoping that Council Rock South could beat them, because then we would definitely be above Souderton. And Coatesville plays Downingtown East this week as well, and Downingtown East and Downingtown West play Week 10.
Gotcha.
So now, there's a lot of potential movement in the top 7 or 8.
What we're also not seeing here is that your Week 9 opponent is Norristown, who's the bottom of the 6A rankings.
Yeah, that's not going to help.
Not going to help.
So
and then you're also, let's say, if you win this week, you're going to get the winner of Phoenixville PJP
right.
in Week 10. And once again, Phoenixville's a 5A team. PJP's a 4A team. So
yeah,
I know they're with good records, but you got to be.
It really hurts.
Your opportunity to earn here at the end is going to be.
Yeah. So you get if you win against a 6A team, you get 140 automatic points plus 10 for each win that they have.
Well, you wouldn't get any extra for Narson because they have nothing right now.
Correct. So we're going to get 140 straight points. And then next week, if we play a 5A school, Phoenixville, we start with 120. If we play Pope John Paul, we start with 100. And then get their wins if we're successful. Yeah. The problem is, but where we have an advantage over some of these schools is we have the 4 non-league games. So Cumberland Valley's up to 4-4. Manheim Township is still undefeated. Mm-hmm. Governor Mifflin has a really good chance these final 2 weeks to get 2 wins. Father Judge played St. Joe's Prep, so that didn't go very well.
No.
But they have Archbishop Wood and I think LaSalle maybe to go.
So you can earn some points.
So we can get, yeah, I think we have a chance to get some points from them. That's where we get a bit of an advantage. And then that crossover week, root for all the Liberty teams.
The big school division.
Because that's another 60 points that we can, or 50 points that we can get and that's unlike everybody else.
Gotcha, okay.
So that's why, I put it into the Excel spreadsheet.
Coach Nestle is big with the Excel too, right?
He did it on paper.
He's a paper guy. You're an online guy.
Yeah, I'm a spreadsheet guy, so I have it all. Yada, yada, yada. If what we think happens, and one of those things includes Upper Dublin beating Souderton, we could finish the year if we're successful in our final 2 games, Norristown and then the crossover, we can finish at number 2, which would be a really nice place to be.
Yeah, so once again, anybody in the top 8 is going to host that first round game, and then you're going to go higher seeds. So that's, I think, the third. I think the first round of districts is November.
If you win, if you're a 2 seed and
you're going to host,
you're guaranteed,
all the way to the final.
as long as you win, you're guaranteed 3 home games.
Yeah, so that's, once again, for the community, that sort of thing, extra home games.
For the people complaining that we didn't have very many home games this year.
Now you have an opportunity for some postseason games. All right, Coach, thanks for the insight in the District 1 football. Let's talk defense again. Once again, 7 points, but it's a late 7 points they get against you guys. And once again, I think they answered the call a little bit I think they took that Manheim game personal. This isn't the defense they are. Yeah. And they really, that first team has come up with big stops. They've gotten short fields whether through special teams and fumbles, and they've held the teams at big stops.
Yeah, and we offensively, as a team, we put them in really bad spots the past few games. Methacton, the fumbles that we had were turnovers were on their end, yes. But still, you're standing on the sideline, all of a sudden you have to go on the field. But they played very well. We're getting, if you look across our front on Friday, like Owen Norman, Evan Strzeminski, and Bryce Roberts had huge games, all 3 of them. And, I was a little disappointed in our secondary again, like lethargic. We had a really bad pass interference call that hurt us. But overall, I would say, even though it was a shutout into the 4th quarter, the sharpness, the energy, the quickness was not where we expected to be, other than those 3 or 4 guys that I mentioned. And they came on a little late. Bryce Roberts, by the way, tied a school record with Blake Terizzi for 4 sacks in 1 game.
Wow, okay.
So, and Evan Strzeminski and Owen Norman had a couple tackles for loss and did a really nice job up front.
All right, let's take a look at Springford versus Methacton on defense.
Defensive highlights are brought to you by Floor & Decor.
Okay, so there you see Brett Schultz getting after it. He misses it, but Bryce Roberts cleans it up for a sack there. All right, Brett's done a really nice job. He's a sophomore. Giassi Ramu has been out sick for a couple games, and we'll have him back on Friday. Again, you see Owen Norman and Brett Schultz getting up the field.
And because he can't pull the trigger, this is the little coverage sack here helps you out. Yeah. See, once you throw it there and nothing available.
Bryce Roberts got another one. Great job. Here is an interception. What an interception. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not that. That was a deflected pass by Owen Norman. Really good job by him. You'll see it right there. Oh, it was Bendowski. My fault. I thought it was Owen Norman. This is a goal line right before the half. They were driving a little bit. Bryce gets a hurry and intercepted by Blake Turner in the end zone. Again, Bryce was real close to this one too. And of course, Owen Norman sets that up by containing the quarterback. A really nice job. This is the interception I'm talking about. Watch this catch here by Shane Lewis. I don't know how he caught it. You'll see on this one.
A little head dance in after he catches, I think.
Yeah, kind of got himself, tangled up there.
Oh, tripped. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a just
kind of
tremendous catch.
Hand, yeah.
So we did make some plays on defense when we needed to.
And obviously that stop before the half, they're out there.
Big.
They can get some points. Yeah, right.
It was big. It just felt like a couple guys were like a step slower than they should have been.
One thing I'm going to defend the kids. We talked about a lot of new guys on that defense. You know what I mean?
So I'm saying if they played here at that level last week, then
why are we going down?
We should be up a notch.
Up
a notch.
All right, good stuff, Coach. Appreciate it. All right, we'll be back with the last segment here. We'll preview the game with Norristown.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back to the Gridiron, sponsored by Patriot Chevrolet. I'm your host, John Brown, with head coach Chad Brubaker. All right, Coach here, Norristown. Not a great season so far for the Eagles down there. That Eagles, man, hold on. Other Eagles. Head coach situation. 2-minute warnings happen. The other team's out of timeouts. They throw it, interception. I'm on TV. Run the ball, punt it, make the defense go. So let's get your little quick hot take on the Eagles at the end of the game.
Listen, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking, and I don't. Although I was watching as a fan, and I wasn't really analyzing.
Okay.
I don't know if they had extra guys in the box. So maybe they thought that was, the play they needed. Obviously, they did.
Well, they said afterwards if they get a first down, they win the game. But I'm saying as a fan, run the ball with 1 second, call timeout, punt the ball away, and make them go the whole length of the field without any timeouts.
That's way above my pay grade.
Well, okay.
Nick Sirianni makes a lot more money than I do.
Okay, all right, maybe just a
tad.
All right, well there you go. There's my thought on the.
Actually, he probably
Eagles.
makes. Does he make 1 million times what I make?
I don't know how much he
Not
makes.
1 million, 100,000.
That's a lot.
100,000 times.
Maybe.
I bet he does.
All right, so there's our take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Norristown Eagles, obviously not the season they're looking for down there too. So I think this is one of those games. If you can get on them early and put some points on the board, does it have to say, or do you let them linger around?
No, obviously that's not what we want to do. We want to have successful drives early. We want to, take what they give us, go up the field, score. They play multiple defenses. They've shown a lot of different defenses, and they'll show it from one play to the next. Obviously when you are not doing as well as you'd like to do during the season, you try different things, and they can do that play to play. They'll be in a completely different defense. So we need to, do a better job of identifying the fronts and communicating up front.
What about when they're on offense? They like to run it, they like to throw. What are their tendencies?
Did I do that out of order?
It's okay. We were just talking about Norristown a little bit in general.
Offensively, they're still trying to find an identity. I think, it's been tough. They don't have a big roster. You know, they want to run the ball. Obviously they have some good kids on their team, but you know, they want to run the ball. They're effective throwing on the perimeter, more so than down the field.
Yep.
But they've obviously struggled, and you know, Coach Milligan's he's a good coach. He's a good guy and a good coach, and you know, that's tough to go through.
All right, let's take a look at Norristown on offense.
Upcoming game highlights are brought to you by Davis Painting.
Who are they playing here? PV?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got those gray unis.
Quick little hitch
right
there.
Throwing the outside. Good throw, good catch. First down. All right. You know, that's pretty good. That's pretty good athletic play right there. Kid bounces it around the outside for like an 8-yard gain. Running counter there. And kid puts his head down and gets a couple more yards. Again, you know, they're better in my mind on the perimeter, so we're really going to have to pay attention to that. And
is this like a wrong shoulder term? Am I getting that right with the defense there? Wrong shoulder like a thing? You get.
That's what we do.
That's what I'm saying. We got to talk a lot about wrong shoulders.
Yeah, and then we got to fit outside of that. Which, by the way, there's a time on Friday I saw we did a nice job of wrong shouldering and couldn't find our safety. So, because sometimes the safety's
that's
up
their
as the strong safety.
Yeah.
But you know, again, when we have films today, we'll point that out.
Love it. Sounds good. All right. We said defense. You're going to see a whole bunch of things from them.
Yeah.
Could be play to play. So.
Could be play to play.
And that's once again. Is it Zoller to Eller, or is it Eller to, like, is it like, how's that communication really going?
Luke Eller's responsible to talk about the fronts, to communicate that to the other offensive linemen.
This is your center. Make sure everybody gets that.
And then, Matt hears it, but Matt knows it as well. So they'll play different coverages. They'll play different fronts. I don't want to say they're all over the place, but they do a lot of different things.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at Norristown on defense.
Upcoming game highlights are brought to you by Davis Painting.
Hey, they're showing blitz.
Yeah. And
get home.
Got 3 guys there on one play. Got 3 guys there.
Good
Here's
fill
a run
by the
through.
linebacker.
Run through, like, kind of run blitz, and they do the same thing here on the goal line.
They're trying to run some wildcat there, it looks like.
Yeah, they were. Tried to cut it back, and guys got off blocks and made plays. And again, another blitz. They don't get there, but they kind of force the throw and
take what they give you. Take what they can give you, that sort of thing. This is listen. Be a great week to put together some long drives, like run some use some clock, use the what I mean, like. Doesn't have to be all home runs. We can get 5 yards at a time.
That is correct.
7. It can still happen in football, right?
That can happen.
All right, so there you go, Coach. Well, best of luck to you and the crew Friday night at Norristown.
At Norristown.
All right. Make sure you tune in next week. We'll recap the game with Norristown and preview the Pack crossover game. For the head coach, Chad Brubaker, I'm John Brennan. See you next time on the Gridiron.